Well, Emily Miller of the Washington Times with us once again. Emily, how you doing?
Good, just recovering from eating too much over Thanksgiving, but otherwise great.
I know. And, now we're into the time of year where a certain someone is supposedly keeping track of whether we've been naughty or nice all year long. And the Second Amendment Foundation is pointing out that there have been some naughty mayors around the country, members of Mayors Against Illegal Guns, who apparently wouldn't belong to things like mayors against carrying firearms illegally, or mayors against getting arrested, or mayors against convicted of, wrongdoing or corruption.
Right.
There's a laundry list of mayors with criminal records who belong to Mayor Bloomberg's anti-gun group.
Right? Isn't that so ironic? That's right. The Mayors Against Illegal Guns is this organization put together by Bloomberg. There's a bunch of liberal mayors around the country, and their push is to get against Second Amendment rights. They have not been very successful, I might add, but they are vicious and they are strategic. And anytime there is a shooting in this country, they are on it like white on rice. They coordinate around it. They use everything they can in these shootings and these tragedies for their agenda. So this group, which I thought was, so clever, the Second Amendment Foundation, which, does great work, they looked into the backgrounds of the members of this organization, which has been around for quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
And they found that 18 of them had serious crimes charged against them. Most of them have left office, of the 18. If you look at, as you well know, the NICS requirements, the federal background checks the FBI does, one of the qualifications for just owning a firearm is that you've not been convicted or indicted of a crime that you would serve more than a year in jail. So I looked at, almost all of these 18 would not be eligible to even, go into a gun store and buy a gun because they wouldn't pass their NICS test.
Right. No, absolutely. My favorite story, actually, the gentleman has passed away now, but the former mayor of Jackson, Mississippi, Frank Melton, was one of the very first members of Mayors Against Illegal Guns. And yet I believe he pled guilty. He was not convicted. He pled guilty to illegally carrying a concealed firearm, Emily. And by the way, that conviction, you would think if you're a member of something called Mayors Against Illegal Guns and you pled guilty to illegally carrying a firearm, that you'd get kicked out of the group, right? No, as long as you're a mayor, you're good, I guess. It doesn't matter what you've been convicted of.
Yeah, I have to say, I tried to reach both Mayors Against Illegal Guns spokesman and Mayor Bloomberg's official office, and nobody replies to me anymore.
What?
I can't say for sure their motivation for keeping these crooks and wife abusers and pedophiles on their lists, but it just goes to show you that the FBI is doing a better background check of potential gun owners than Mayor Bloomberg's doing of members of his coalition.
I guess. Yeah, I would love to. Bloomberg has never, to my knowledge, responded to this. And as you say, these mayors have been running afoul of the law pretty much since Mayors Against Illegal Guns has been around. It's an interesting, Emily, comparison because anytime something bad happens with a firearm in this country, one of the first questions the media asks is, was the guy an NRA member? How did the guy get the gun? Was he a legal gun member? Was he a gun nut? What was the motivation of this guy?
And that, like I said earlier, we have now uncovered, and you and I have done this story before, this MEG, Mayors Against Legal Guns, they are so coordinated behind those attacks. The first thing they hear if there's a gunshot goes off, first thing they do is find out where the gun is from, see if we can use this against people. They are on it. And so it's just the absolute hypocrisy that within their ranks are these people. This one guy was arrested, this one mayor, it was Gary Becker of Racine, Wisconsin, was sentenced to 3 years in jail for felony child enticement and attempted sexual assault. He actually tried to pick up an undercover cop who looked like a little girl. These are really, really skanky people.
Right.
This is the worst stuff. And even some of the regulations are about people who've ever been accused of wife abuse or child abuse can't own guns, which is smart. And so Bloomberg just puts anybody on this thing because it's part of their long-term agenda, which is just to eliminate guns from this country, pretty much. And as Alan Gottlieb, who's the founder of the Second Amendment Foundation, said to me, this for him, the reason they decided to do this now is because Bloomberg, started right before the election, a month before the election, putting millions and millions of his own money into this new PAC, and this PAC is just going after pro-Second Amendment candidates. And so Gottlieb said, we're not going to let him attack our rights scot-free. We're going to attack back. So this is what Bloomberg doesn't like to have anyone stand up to him. He likes to throw out this stuff, throw out this material, use his money for his agenda, and doesn't like any pushback. And I think it's really important that he's getting this pushback now.
Yeah, I do too. Emily, listen, really appreciate you coming on the program. Have a great afternoon, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thanks for having me.
Emily Miller joins us from the Washington Times here on NRAnews.com.